Wild thing, you make my heart sing. You make everything groovy. Wild thing, I think I love you, but I want to know for sure. Wild thing, you make my heart sing. You make everything groovy. Wild thing, you know my heart is set on full speed ahead for you. Like Johnny Fratto, I know what to do. I know what to do. Because my heart is full speed ahead for you. And you know my heart is set on full speed ahead for you. My wheels are spinning. I must break through. My heart is full speed ahead for you. And you know my heart is set on full speed ahead for you. Love has no speed limit. That is true. Yeah, baby. This I always knew. That I am full speed ahead for you. Yeah, my heart is full speed ahead for you.
Kendra, are you crying?
No.
I got emotional there at the end. That was a sweet song by a sweet man. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Tiny Tall Tales inside the Actor Studio. Joining me tonight, resident Eric aficionado and expert, dare I say, one Luigi.
Hello.
Let's go. How are you?
Doing great. Thanks so much for having me.
Listen, we've talked for a while. I know how much you love Eric and how closely you follow Eric. And I know you and Hack Ride do a great show called Unboxing Eric over on Hack Ride's channel, right?
Yes, Sundays. Thank you very much for letting me plug that. We are probably the closest thing to obsessive fans of Eric. We lived it when it was live. We were tuned into our radios, and we had this very crazy, obsessive relationship with Eric in which we had ups and downs. Sometimes we loved him, sometimes we hated him. And we love to just reminisce, and we go chronologically through all of his calls on the Howard Stern Show and relive those glory days.
So you guys have covered his first call in 2002, which I have a question or two about with our guests. And our guest tonight, first of all, you know this guy from his dad, number one. His dad and Eric were business partners, if you will. They were friends of ours, if you will. And his dad is a legend, and he's a legend as well. I've known him for years. Class act, just like his pops. Welcome to Tiny Tales, everybody. Johnny Fratto Jr. Come on.
Hey, everybody. How are you?
What's up, man? Good to see you, brother.
Julie? It's good to see you, buddy.
Thank you very much for doing this. And Johnny's working as a security guard now, so he'll be roaming the parking lot, making sure everyone's safe. First of all, growing up with your dad without Eric being involved, I'm sure was fascinating and interesting. For those who may not know, Johnny Jr.'s family has a long history in the Midwest. Correct? That's safe to say?
That's safe to say. My grandfather was born in 1907 and was one of the original Chicago outfit bosses. Al Capone pulled him up from the 42 gang because they wanted to be one more than Alibaba and the 40 Thieves. And, my grandfather went before Senate crime committees like Keith Hoffa and McClellan, where Bobby Kennedy questioned him about Hoffa. And interestingly enough, I was just with RFK and I showed him that video, and he really loved it.
And also,
our families are enemies. Now we're friends, so that's a good thing.
Also, right, you guys, hey, look, it took a couple generations. It took a couple generations, but you guys made up. And also, your grandfather, the original Teflon Don, they used to call him, which was, he was the man, and your dad was the man, and your dad crossed paths with Eric at one point, and we're going to get into that. But I want to welcome everybody and introduce Johnny Fratto Jr. And now I want to bring in our next guest. This guy was Eric's right-hand man, really, and went everywhere with Eric, did everything with Eric, for Eric. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jan to the show. What's up, Jan?
Hey, what's up, everybody? To correct you,
Huh?
I didn't do everything with Eric. I didn't do the girls with Eric.
Well, we'll listen. We'll get into the romance. There's a lot to cover here, and thank you, number one, for doing the show. How you
Well,
been, man? It's been a minute since we talked.
all right, just been kind of hectic. I lost my parents in the last year, and then became homeless, so I had to move back to California with some friends.
Well, listen, I'm glad you found somewhere to go in Cali, and I'm sure this community here will help you out, because you really put in so much time and effort. I guess we'll start with you because you were, first of all, my first question to you, because I mentioned the call in 2002. Were you with Eric at that time? Were you taking care of him and staying with him? Or?
I was helping him during that time. It was when he was still living with his parents in Rodell, and they would go out on vacation or whatever, and I'd go help him. And that night, his parents were somewhere, and I stayed that day that he called into the show, so I was there when he called.
And Luigi, what did he call in to the show with that first call? I don't remember.
The first call was him coming to the defense of one Miss Kelly Clarkson, because previously, I believe it was the day before, Howard had called Kelly chubby. I think I don't even know that he called her fat. He called her fat, or maybe he did.
Fat and unattractive.
Fat and unattractive. All right, I was trying to be kind. And Eric decided that he wanted to call in and let Howard know that he disagreed. That was really the crux of it all, and come to her defense. And Howard, like he did, smelled gold.
Now,
and kept him on.
So now, jumping over to Johnny for a second, I'm curious how the world of your dad and the world of Eric collided. Was there a particular thing that happened that these two? I remember your dad. I see your dad as like a P.T. Barnum. He sees Eric on the TV one day and goes, "This is my fucking guy," right?
Oh yeah. Well, what happened was, my first and foremost, my dad loved little people. He really loved midgets. I mean, he genuinely did. I mean, it was like a passion of his. It was weird. And when my dad had already been going on Stern since 06, and Eric was one of his favorite people. I mean, all he'd do is sit there and listen to Howard all day long. And what ended up happening was, I don't remember how he met him, but there was a guy named James Betterton, I think his name is, and he knew Eric. And he put my dad and Eric together, and then Eric and my dad became friends. And I don't know where the idea came from that Eric was my dad was Eric's manager. I really don't know how that happened, but it just kind of, I guess, evolved naturally. It was a weird thing.
I think, Johnny, I think it was your dad met the guy that was the co-host of American Idol. The first year they had the two hosts.
Dunkelman.
Yes. And so what did James Betterton have to? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, all I know is they got together and, it was a match made in heaven. Yeah. My dad, I'll tell you, you want to hear one thing?
Sure.
The only time, and I'm not joking you, I mean it with all my heart. The only time I ever really saw my dad cry, actual tears, was when Eric passed away. And I went over to his house. He called me, and he was like sobbing, and I'm like, "What is wrong?" He said, "Eric died." I'm like, "What?" And he was crying, and I went over to his house, and he was like literally emotionally sobbing. It was. I mean, I've seen his other friends die. I mean, he was really impacted by it for some reason.
Yeah, your dad was amazing. When I was working on the news team, he was like essential for so many great stories about Eric, because he would be the guy to tip me off, and he would tell me exactly what's going on or what he's working on with Eric. And then I would reach out to Eric and set him up, hey, so what's going on with you today? What are you working on now? And Eric would go, and I already had all the information from your pops filling me in. So in case he left anything out, I could ask him about it, and he would have to now, because while Eric was at times an asshole, he really never lied. He usually would fess up to something when you called him on it. And so having that information from your dad, that backdoor info was so great. And your dad was such a genius with him and just came up with, I mean, the stuff that people love about Eric, the legendary segments. I mean, your dad's fingerprints are all over that, they're amazing.
Oh yeah, he was the orchestrator for sure. I mean, he knew exactly what buttons to push with Eric to get, the gold. And I don't know
Yes.
how he did it. He just did, like, every day. And I thought he was nuts at first, but then it just kept being funnier and funnier and funnier. And I mean, I still listen to it to this day. I listen to Howard 101. When I hear their bits, I mean, I still roll laughing on the floor. I mean, every time. I mean, Derek
Yeah.
from Texas makes me die. I literally die when I hear it.
It's
Can I ask Johnny a question?
absolutely, Luigi. Go ahead.
Johnny, again, great to meet you.
Good to meet you.
So I host a show on Sundays where we literally just sit and listen to a chronological telling of every single Eric call that he ever made. We are super fans. And so a lot of this stuff is fresh on my mind. And one thing that we've actually been talking about recently was your dad's interest in Eric. What was the pride or the priority that Johnny took in Eric? Because there was obviously a relationship. He obviously cared about him. That was all that all seemed very sincere, but we never really understood, what did Johnny get out of it, out of that relationship? Because it wasn't like it was a a mutual giving and taking.
Yeah.
I think, you'd have to know my dad. I mean, my dad was. Here's the thing. He seemed. I don't know how he seems to the rest of you, but he was a legitimate crazy person. I mean, there's no question about that. I mean,
Yes.
the man
Fair
was
enough.
insane. God rest his soul, I love him. I mean, he was hilarious and people loved him, but he really was kind of crazy. And I think that he just got great kicks from it, and I think that's really all it was about, because I mean, sometimes you put more time into Eric than, his kids, and I have two younger half brothers that were like children at the time. And he said they're, doing all the time with Eric. I'm like, what are you doing? You're nuts.
That was
But
something we wondered about, honestly. That was a specific thing we were curious about.
It's something I wonder about. So you're not
think-
like, we'll never know, But
it gave him something to do out there on the patio smoking too.
Yeah, that's true.
He would chain smoke out there on his little patio and, scream his head off. And, if you were on his block, everybody knew his business because, he'd scream it from the mountaintops. So, you just have to be on the street. You know exactly what he's doing. I'll tell you a funny story. When I was a kid, my dad, he found a Michael Jackson impersonator group called instead of the Jackson 5, they were the Jason 5.
Oh God.
Great.
And he brought him home to live at our house for 6 months. And he locked him in the basement. And at night they couldn't come out. And finally they escaped. They stole everything. And then they wanted to come back, but he wouldn't let him because he said, you escaped. And they had Stockholm syndrome. They came to his funeral. They loved him. But here's a man that locked these 5 guys in the basement every night. I mean, my dad was just a nut. He was bizarre. I love him, but he was nuts.
Well,
I can't.
I don't even know how to respond to that.
I'll tell you. Listen, here's what goes off in my head when you tell that story. Now I understand whose idea it was for the Eric modeling contest that he pitched on Stern. Because if you remember, grand prize was the woman had to live with him for 7 years, I believe.
7 years.
Yeah. And in the 80s, my dad had a modeling agency called Gianni Model Management. So
Yeah.
I think he was letting he was bringing it back, with Eric. I don't know, but it was
Your dad.
he was a crazy person. I mean,
Your dad
then
would
Alan
call
Thicke
me.
came to stay at our house for a week. And I'm like a little kid. I got pictures of us with Alan Thicke, and then he got the Jason 5 on his show called Thick of the Night. And I'm sitting there going, what the hell is going on? I'm 5 years old, seeing this guy from TV at our house. I had no idea it was bizarre. I lived a bizarre life growing up. I'll tell you, I really did.
So for people, I know there's a couple people in chat that are not familiar with Eric. Luigi, I mean, if you had to describe Eric to an outsider, first of all, Jan, correct me if I'm wrong, with his condition, he was not supposed to live as long as he did in the first place, right?
They said probably 11 or 12 years old he would pass away. They didn't give
Yeah.
it. He wouldn't make it through his teens.
And he passed away at what age?
30.
9.
Yeah,
That's
30
pretty
or no,
young.
20. Yeah, 39.
It was 39.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so he outlived what the prediction was, and he's this. So he had, how's it pronounced? Ehlers or Elos?
Elos, Danlos, or something like that. I always say it wrong too.
Ehlers Danlos.
Ehlers.
There you go.
That's
Man,
how
Johnny
your
brought
pop
it.
used
Yeah,
to
all
say
right.
it. Yeah,
Johnny.
Ehlers downlows. I remember your dad calling me at like 5:30 in the morning East Coast time as I was going into work. He's on his Ambien trip where he's not even sure what's real and what's not, and he's just going, this cocksucker's calling me. I got meetings. I got these kids running around this goddamn house. He goes, you're lucky. He's so lucky. I love this little prick. He really he loved Eric, and the combination of those two. So Eric was with this Ehlers Daniels, and
Egg roll
and he-
donuts.
yeah, and he calls into the show one day to argue with Howard about his comment about Kelly Clarkson. And next thing you know, Howard hears his voice, and right away, Howard's, red light flicks on, and he's like, what's your story? And a legend is born. He proceeded to call in for years, was a member of the Whack Pack, and a legit member of the Whack Pack, because the legit ones do not want anything to do with it or don't know that they are in it. So he was a superstar. He called in. He didn't shy away from his opinion. Not a lot of people liked him. He didn't say thank you a lot. He expected quite a bit. And I think Johnny loved that about him, that he just walked in with this big dick energy of like, you know who I am, motherfucker. He loved that.
Well, something we also haven't yet mentioned in your description of him was that he was 3'2".
Correct. Right.
Yes.
In a wheelchair.
In a wheelchair, a very unfortunately mangled body.
Yep.
And here comes this guy with this attitude of telling Howard Stern, one of the most powerful people in show business, that he wanted to kind of just battle him on the topic of Kelly Clarkson. And then ultimately there's a story arc, and that's where we wanted our show to focus, is that he comes in, and you're talking about big dick energy, and he did have that to some extent at the beginning, but then it completely comes out and bursts out, and by the time he passes away, he has a different personality, at least on the air. I'm willing to admit that, maybe it all wasn't real, but his story arc was that he just completely changed. And the biggest factor was pussy.
It always is. It always is, my friend. But let me just throw this question to Jan. And before I do, you talk about the shift. This was a guy, he's talking to Howard Stern at that time, the most listened to person on radio. And he's sitting there calling him Big Beak, talking shit to him. It was amazing. But Jan,
big nose.
I don't see, I know Eric fancied himself an actor, but I don't see him being that great of an actor where he is this one person on the air, and then as soon as he hangs up the phone, he's got a British accent and walks out the room. I think a lot of Eric on air is Eric off air. Once he gets comfortable, is that safe to say?
Yeah, for the most part, but like the whole being cranky always wasn't completed. He figured out being pissed off and yelling at Howard always paid.
Absolutely, he was no dummy,
but he didn't put up with anybody's shit even away from the show.
Well,
yes.
but I mean, I wish I had the voicemails he used to leave even me. When he couldn't get a hold of my dad, he'd call me and say, "Where's your orange fucking father?" every day. I just was so pissed. Tell that motherfucker he owes me a call. I've been calling him for 2 fucking days. I mean, it was I can't believe I
would-
deleted those. I
he
really
would-
can't.
Oh, that is
It's so
beautiful.
sad.
He would
Yeah.
call he would call Johnny Senior Cheeto before people called Trump Cheeto.
That's true. He started it long before anybody else did. Yeah, I have one of his voicemails saved on
Yeah, I lost the voicemails that he left to me way before the show. I lost all of them because
Yeah,
he would go crazy on voicemails to me.
I also have, we talk about, we do a lot of Stuttering John coverage on this channel, and a lot of the people in the Dabbleverse see similarities between John and Eric. Although Eric is beloved now for sure, maybe not as much at the time, but I think even the people that hated him, having been on the road with him and people getting to see him face to face, it's a different story when a guy's on a phone than when you're seeing a guy in a wheelchair wheeled up to the stage. And what are you going to do? You're going to stand up there and give him the double bird, like.
If I can make one reference real quick, is that Sal made the analogy that he looked like a turkey.
He did.
In a
He
wheelchair.
did a little bit. I've told this story. We met him. I think it was like the first time it was an Artie show or a Killers of Comedy show, and it was in San Francisco. I think it was at a theater, right, Jan?
Yeah.
And we were out in this. Yeah,
that was
we
the
were
one next to the strip club.
Correct. And we were out in this balcony like area, everybody kind of just hanging out, having a smoke before the show. And all of a sudden, Eric and Jan show up. And this is me, Sal, Richard, Yucko, Levy. And it's our first time coming face to face with Eric. And we all come over and we're like, hey, pal. Hey, buddy, how are you? And we all shake his hands. Great to see you. It's great to meet you. How you been? And then Yucko comes over and shakes his hand. And as soon as he touches Yucko's hand, Yucko goes, ew! Just screams. And he goes, it's like shaking a bag of sand. And that was Yucko being Yucko. There's nothing you can change about that. But Eric definitely loved the spotlight. He definitely loved the attention, Jan. And he loved nothing more than the ladies. And the spotlight.
He loved breasts. He loved breasts, whoever they were attached to.
Well, we used to have a famous bit that Bob used to do with the blue cheese. And then when Eric was on the shows, I don't know if you remember this, Jan, but we would Superman him into cleavage.
I was one of the people that held him one of the times.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think that was with Cheryl.
We worked as a team. Because one night, I think there were like 10 women that volunteered, and it was just literally like a conveyor belt. And he was in heaven. You never seen the kid happier.
I think that was the San Diego show.
Yes.
Where somebody stole all of his snacks too.
Oh, yeah. We got some people in here with some super chats, so let me bring them up. Thanks TSN for this Sesame gift. Eric, the actor, is a legend. Keys, woman. Yes, in plain sight. So excited for this. I'm going to visit his grave next month. ETA meant so much to me.
Make sure you take a Pepsi bottle.
Yep.
Ooh,
That's what most people do when they go up there. They leave Pepsi bottles.
Yeah, it's crazy. To this day, I still get random tweets or DMs or something from somebody with that exact photo of them leaving a Pepsi bottle at his grave. Who knew? Who knew that one of the most hated reoccurring people on the Stern Show was really so loved at the end of the day?
Can I ask you a question, Shirley? Do you sincerely think he was hated? I realize there was hateful comments and there was hateful, feedback, but in my opinion, most of it was simply to garner a reaction from Eric.
I think there were certain people at times that were exhausted or frustrated with Eric. Maybe they lost sight of the bigger bit picture. And that's a credit to Eric. He is an actor at the end of the day. So, he got them hook, line, and sinker into, but also Eric was not a guy that was going to kiss anybody's ass either. And that was a beautiful thing about him. I love that.
He was like the ultimate villain. I mean, he really was,
Yeah, I think there were people that legit hated him.
I have.
Really?
I mean, he was the he. I mean, he loved wrestling and he chose the heel. You know, I mean, that's what he did. I mean, and he was
Yeah.
so fantastic at it. You know.
I have some insight on that too.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've
yeah,
had
please.
I've had a lot of fans message me and say they hated Eric when Eric was on the show when he was alive, but then after when he was gone and what the show became afterwards and missing Eric, not having Eric on the show, then they realized the gold he was on the show and
Absolutely.
got a
Interesting.
new opinion.
Absolutely, absolutely, and it's more about Eric not being there than the show being different. Because let's say Eric's still around and the show is what the show is now, you're not going to have the same Eric and Howard interaction. They're going to be flying him around the world and making all his wishes come true, and that's not what the love affair was between Howard and Eric. Yeah, he got him acting gigs. Eric got on TV shows that in no way would he probably have gotten on without Howard. So that was kind of always the payoff to being a whack packer. If you knew that you were a whack packer, was converting it into outside stuff, or at least having somebody in your team that could help you do that. You know,
That's
Johnny
interesting.
always
Yeah,
got him on TMZ.
I mean, all the whack packers, and I love them all. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not even talking shit at all. But most of them, if not all of them, are really one-dimensional to me. Eric was like, it's like I said, he was a real villain. I mean, he was just amazing at what he did. I mean, you never knew what you were going to get with him. And, with Beetlejuice, you kind of know what you're going to get. With the rest, you know what you're going to get. But with Eric, you never knew it was coming,
It was true. I want to mention real quick, we all live and play in this Dabbleverse, and at times it can be very toxic. Here's an example of how much people hated Eric. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jan, but they called and contacted the government to get his funds fucked with, right?
About 5 times.
Yeah. Yeah, like imagine seeing this guy on your screen. He's all crumpled in a wheelchair. All he gives a shit about is American Idol, and you go, I'm going to fuck this guy's benefits up. That's what I'm going to do.
My God.
It was every time he acted. One time it was one of the comedy shows they turned him in for. And then the major time was when he was doing the Cameo before Cameo was the thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Flexi gifting a membership. Thank you, Flex. Appreciate
I
it,
don't
my friend.
think so.
143, Eric, Shuli, Luigi, Hackride, thank you. Joe Black, thank you. Thank you for everybody joining us. We have 610 people in here right now. So hit like, hit subscribe, hit notify. Thanks for joining us. I'm an Eric the Midget virgin. I know nothing about this little guy. Well, prepare to have your world rocked, my friend.
Buckle up.
Yeah, you're about to go down a
pretty much
YouTube rabbit hole.
You can pretty much find every show on YouTube.
Yeah. Go check out Luigi and Hackride. What channel? Give him plug your channel.
Yeah, it is Hackride. Oh man, what is that? I don't know why I'm blanking right now. Yeah, it's Hackride Studios is the name of the channel, and every Sunday night at
Unboxing Eric, right?
Unboxing Eric. I'm trying to think. I'm sorry. Trying to calculate time zones in my brain right now. It is at
math is not your friend.
10 o'clock Eastern. It's early. It's early, Shuli. It's too early. I can't do math.
Port Water Dog Forever. Thank you for becoming a member all on your own. Appreciate that. House of Rebellion. Thank you for gifting 5. ETM is the only celebrity that made me cry when I found out he died. Did Eric know how much he was truly loved by so many? I still listen to Eric's segments on YouTube every day. Jan, your thoughts on that question? You think he knew that?
If I go by the way what he told me, no, but I think he really did. I think he just wanted to believe everybody hated him to fuel more fuel on the show, because he thought nobody liked him like Gary. He thought Gary didn't like him, but I think deep down he knew it was just him fucking with him to get his buttons pushed.
I'm sorry. I'm making notes on everything that Johnny and Jan are saying, because I have so many questions and I'm trying to not, but I can't. I have to capitalize on this one. I know I'm very sorry, but Jan,
what do you got?
Jan, you just said something that is like on my notes of things to ask, which is, did he really think that the staff hated him? And you're saying yes, he really did.
He that's what he would say, but deep down, I don't think he did. I think he
Okay.
wanted to
Yeah.
believe they hated. He kept that they hated him to give him fuel for the show. I think, but I don't think he really did deep down.
I don't
But
think
how
they
much
ever
was
hated. I don't think they ever hated him. I just think there were days where they just had enough, and they wanted days off from Eric and dealing
There
with.
was there. I think there was only one person that he thought really did hate him, and that was Jeff the Drunk.
Okay,
Oh.
well, that's fair. That
Well,
was
speaking of, one of my favorite stories I ever did was Eric and Jeff the Drunk. I don't know if you remember this, Jan, but Jeff got booked to appear, so he said, on Monday Night Raw, WWE. It was coming to Albany. And beforehand, Eric was telling him, I don't think this is legit. Eric was telling him that I'm friends with people in the business. I've asked. This isn't checking out. And Jeff just refused to listen to Eric. I remember doing a couple stories leading up to it.
Yeah.
Then you cut to Jeff goes to this event. They told him, whoever was booking him told him to shave his head because he was doing a segment with Stone Cold Steve Austin. So Jeff shaves his head, shows up with his nephew, goes to the box office, and no tickets are waiting for him. Nobody knows he's coming. And it was a total waste.
And wasn't there a phone segment on the air before any of that happened in which they had Eric tell Jeff directly, I don't think this is real. I think you're getting messed with.
Yeah, it was. It was all from. Well, here, listen. I want to play this for you guys.
Yeah, because Eric talked to his WWE connection, and they knew nothing about it.
Yeah, this is Jeff and Eric. Check this out, everybody. Enjoy. Caller, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
You said you wanted to tell Jeff something?
Told you so. I knew all along, Jeff, they did not want to have you.
Fuck you, Eric. You're an asshole. Everybody hates you.
Martin and Lewis, Abbott and Costello, and now Kuro and Midget. Jeff was gloating on the phone with Eric the Midget just 1 month ago as he was approaching an upcoming gig with the WWE's Monday Night Raw. How did that gig work out? Well, Jeff waited 4 hours in the box office this past Monday night and never got in the arena. So now Eric would like to return the favor. So let's get back to the action.
Fuck you, you fucking midget. Piece of fucking shit.
But he is on the phone.
I don't care. He's a midget. Piece of...
Oh, I'm not a midget, you dumb fuck.
You're a midget. Piece of shit,
midget. Idiot.
Fuck you.
Now this conversation's off to a bad start right off the bat.
You're so fucking stupid. You couldn't even tell it. That was a fake person trying to get you involved with the WWE.
It was a real person, you fuckwad.
No, it wasn't, Jeff.
You don't fucking know, asswipe.
There was a person that I have on my Facebook page that is a real employee of the WWE, and he said it was fake.
Yeah. It wasn't a prank.
Well, I mean, according to Eric,
No,
Julie, what
fuck Eric and fuck the other two. Bye, Julie. Call me with serious request only.
So after a long conversation, I got Jeff back on the phone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jeff Kuro, welcome back.
Yeah.
You're on with myself and Eric.
Yeah. Come on, get it out. Buzz on me.
Eric, any final statement you'd like to make?
Come on, Eric. Talk.
Well, just that you think that I'm the one that's supposed to have a lower IQ than you?
You're a douchebag, Eric.
You fell for that bullshit?
Then there was silence for about 30 seconds, followed by Jeff's morning hit. Hard to believe the WWE passed up on this. Shuliegar, Howard 100 News. Well, there you go. A little blast from the past of those two going at it. I happen to think that, is it safe to say that he really hated Jeff, right? He had
Yeah, he didn't like Jeff at all, no.
Right.
Other one that second closest that he hated would probably be
High Pitch?
High Pitch, yeah, High Pitch.
Yeah. Those were my two. I didn't have a top 3, but my top 2 was Jeff and High Pitch for sure. I knew that. Eric was an absolute treasure. I loved being pointless. Off his the pointless shit off his Amazon wish list. Find him, Johnny. I mean, that was one of the most legendary moments that the guy from his old school tell you know what to do. Yeah.
Guy named
Okay,
Jerry.
so I'm sorry. I think something got broken up there. I think your audio got broken up, Jan.
Oh, I was saying the guy's name was Jerry. We figured out who it was afterwards.
I have a lot of questions about that one too. I don't want to interrupt if you want to keep going with the super chats though.
Yeah, let me get a few more and we'll come back to Jerry. Eric the Midget. Okay, we did that one. Thank you, Eugene. John, do you still have your Amazon? Jan, do you still have your wish list on Amazon?
I do, but it's jacked up, so it's like Eric's, but I don't really use it.
Okay. Hey, Nan Cram. I loved Eric the Midget so much. My first YouTube mention was ETM thanking me for sending him movie passes so he could do his fab reviews. I miss sending him things off his Amazon wish list like Oakland Day Christmas stockings. Ack. Yeah, we talk about those people that went after him and tried to get his money fucked with, but there were a lot of people that were very generous and really loved Eric. Yeah, a lot of them were entertainers. A lot of them were in the business, man.
Yeah. That wish list was worth his wish list was worth like millions of dollars. Somebody was bored enough to add it all up.
Yeah, I remember one of the writers that him and Johnny put together for something. He wanted an RV so he could drive to all the baseball games across the country. He wanted season tickets to the Niners, to the A's. These were all non-negotiable.
He was so passionate about his wish list. There was one female that always sent him stuff, and she told him, "I'll keep on sending you stuff if you clean up your wish list," because he had a lot of stuff for accessories for stuff he didn't have. Oh. So he had the accessories for it, but he didn't have the main thing yet. And she was telling him, "She'll keep on sending stuff if you clean it up." And he said, "No, it's exactly what I want, and that's what's going to be on there."
Daddy Poopy, share Venmo, PayPal for the guy. His life has been spent helping loved ones. Let's make sure he's taken care of. What is your PayPal or your Venmo?
My PayPal is JONJ72401, and my Venmo is. Hold on, sorry.
That's all right. JONJ
72401.
72401. Okay.
And my Venmo is GlockFan870.
Okay. There you go, Daddy Poopy.
Glock like the pistol.
Of course. I'm still afraid of New Mexico due to werewolves. I mean, one of the best moments ever.
That's funny that somebody brought that up. I don't know how many people, when I said I was driving back from Arkansas to California, I had so many people telling me to, on messages and Facebook, tell me to watch out for werewolves when it went through Albuquerque.
Well, we were hanging out together during that shoot when he was in New Mexico. Yeah. I mean, was Eric at his where was Eric happier? On a movie set or a TV set or at a strip club?
I'd say a strip club.
I know that answer. I've been to him. I've been with him at both, and I can tell you it was the strip club without a doubt. Johnny, he was definitely a ladies' man, huh? I mean, Eric.
Absolutely. Oh my God, I think my dad and I went to some convention, some like adult convention in Las Vegas, and this lady came out with this giant boa constrictor, like this albino boa constrictor, and they put it on Eric, and the thing started to like wrap around him, and I mean, I'm telling you, I think it probably killed him. I mean, it was pretty weird, but the girl that had it had such big boobs, they were in his face. He didn't even care. I mean, really, he did not care. Yeah.
Yeah.
He had that face on. He had that look on his face, but I don't think he was really scared. He had that look a lot. Like if people take pictures of him, he either looked scared or like the person stunk.
Yeah, there's a picture
was-
that
How
got on
the-
the internet of that made him look like he was really
was-
terrified of that
that-
snake.
one of the
that
best
thing that
nights was. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
that thing we went to Las Vegas. That was a total bust too. There was like 10 people there.
Oh, it was horrible. It was absolutely horrible.
Because-
But you know
because
it was a good night. Do you remember when in the Viper Room when they did the unveiling of the handicap stall and Eric went and cut the ribbon for the handicap stall and my dad had all the house pets there? That was amazing. I mean, that was hilarious.
Oh my god.
That was the genius of your dad. He has
TMZ.
they have a handicapped stall, and he brings Eric to do the ribbon cutting, complete with these tricked out choppers, blinging all over Sunset Boulevard. He's got penthouse chicks. I mean,
them penthouse chicks were drunk as hell and actually stepping on them too with like 5-inch.
Yeah. That one got on TMZ. There's a shot that you can go on TMZ and say Eric. It's amazing.
And then at the end of the TMZs, your dad driving away with them in the convertible.
Oh God.
Wait, is that Frado Jr., the little fucker that Johnny often complained about?
He complained about me a lot, but I think he was talking about my little half brother Joey, who is now 22. I'm 45.
Wow.
I'm much older than Joey. And then there's even a littler one than him named Willie, who's 16. So yeah.
Luigi for Prez. You heard it first from Looney Tunes critic. He knows what he's talking about.
Hey, thank you.
Didn't your dad buy you a spaceship, Johnny?
No, his dad got him a spaceship in the 1960s when NASA was doing that tour with the space capsule. My grandfather somehow got it off the streets and got it into the house and told the kids they could play with it for a week, and then they had to give it back to wherever it was. But there was articles about it and everything when it went missing. I mean, it's pretty hilarious.
Amazing story.
Yeah.
What an amazing story.
Yeah. Did you ever get any Bunny Ranch puss, or was that really blocked by Eric because he wanted them all to himself? Great question.
Great question.
Yeah.
That was a bit that Johnny and him came up with. Thought it would be funny on the show.
Right.
But no, I didn't get any, but I wasn't interested either. And just wasn't my thing to go fuck some chick that's already been in bed with 2 guys the same day and 10 guys the week before. And then one chick did try to ask me, and then I told her I would no, because she wanted $10,000 an hour, and I said I'm free, and she kicked me out of her room.
Oh boy.
Lowballed her. I like that. It's a good move. Good business move.
She said, I don't fuck anybody for free. Get the fuck out of my room. I was like, well, good.
And everybody has their mottos in life, Jan. You know, we're not here to judge. God bless.
Bring in the midget, though.
Right. When alive, Eric was hated as a caller. The cult and the adoration only happened after he died. I have a disgusting feeling it may happen for Stuttering John too. I don't think so.
Man, I fully disagree with that statement. I loved every second of Eric when he was on.
Yeah.
And it was funny because I had a quasi love-hate relationship where sometimes I was annoyed with him, but it was never to the point of me hating him or not wanting to hear what he had to say that day. And so I think I personally represent a large part of the audience that was like, fucking Eric, blah, 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 blah. Well, what does he have to say today, though? And would tune right in. Yeah, exactly.
Were there ever days, Johnny, where he just kind of pawned Eric off on you and was like, "Here, you handle Eric. I'm clocking out for a little while."
No, not really. My dad loved him. I mean, the only time that would ever happen is if my dad wasn't picking up the phone and Eric would call me to find him. I mean, that was really it, you know. But, I mean, you know, but sometimes when they were coming up with stuff like bits like the writer for Eric, I did have a hand in that. I will say.
Oh, that's great.
So that was fun, and a couple other things too. Yeah.
There was one other person that Johnny pawned off Eric to for a while. The guy that was running the Rocco's Tattoo Bomb.
Oh, Johnny Costello.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. I talked to Johnny 2 days ago.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, great guy.
Looney Tunes. So Johnny Jr.'s at his security job. Some things never skip a generation. Be a real shame if something happened to this parking lot.
Hey, listen, I got my kids, my wife, my mother-in-law, who all live at the house with me, and then 6 other people at my house. So everybody's screaming their fucking head off. And I have to walk around this parking lot because it's too loud to do it in my house. I got no other, but it's too late. I got no other place to go. It sucks. Yeah,
You
little fucker.
literally are following in your dad's footsteps. Literally,
Oh
your
yeah.
house is packed with kids, and you're going the other direction.
I got no little people to keep me entertained though. That's the only problem. I'm very sad with this.
Uh,
Yeah.
Skull Train. I always loved it when Eric was on the show. The only one I love better was Derek from Texas. Hope he's flying with balloons somewhere. Yeah, I love that thing kind of backfired on Eric, where all of a sudden Derek starts calling in, and people are like, "Boy, we really like this Derek guy. Fuck this Eric guy." And then Eric had
Those
to
little
go back.
fuckers. Those fuckers.
Hey,
Oh,
hey,
those little
Frado.
fuckers are keeping me up all night. And then I got this little shithead calling me. Ah, Jesus fucking Christ.
That's great.
Let me tell you how beloved Derek from Texas is. He's my very good friend, who I think you're friends with, Shuli, Warren Zide, who produced American Pie
Yes,
and Final Destination. His
absolutely.
license plate is Derek from Texas.
What Warren's
His license plate
a
literally says
great
Derek
dude.
from Texas. It's fantastic. I mean, that's how beloved. I mean, people are getting license plates after bits. I mean, the guy was. I mean, it's just incredible, you know.
Absolutely.
That was like Eric called in as Derek from Texas, like one day after he quit the show, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the big thing. Tony, member for 12 months, just wants to let everybody know. Ack. Thank you, Tony. Here's a legend in the Stern game. We're talking about Eric the actor. How about this guy, Mark Friggin, ladies and gentlemen?
Oh, nice.
No one psyched me up to do my rundowns as much as Eric did. Howard would take his call. I'd get a big grin on my face and start typing like a madman. He inspired, man. He was an inspiration, that Eric.
Eric pitched Mark's website so many times too.
What did he do?
He would always talk about Mark's website.
Yes, he
would call you to do a news story. I got it from Mark.
Yep, absolutely. He would leave. Then it got to a point he got to be such a big shot. He didn't even ask to do news stories. He would just leave me a voicemail, and he knew I would make a news story out of the voicemail.
That's funny.
Yeah, John and Johnny, your sides of the Kendra saga. Okay, so
yes.
So let's kind of, if we can briefly, Luigi, kind of encapsulate the Kendra saga for people who may not know. Go ahead.
Sure. So on the air, Eric claimed to have a girlfriend who was a beautiful, big busted lady, the way he liked them.
His favorite.
And they decided to hash out some drama live on the air, and it was very contrived, and Howard just saw right through it. So I guess that's as easy as briefly as he can sum it up. But ultimately, we found out it was a bit, and that there was nothing really, there was no truth to it. But he insisted that this was his girlfriend, and just no one believed it. We never really saw any sort of reasoning behind it, or at least I never did. And yeah, that's definitely one of my questions: is what was the whole end game of that?
I think my dad convinced Eric it really was his girlfriend for a minute. I'm pretty sure of it, because that's what I remember. I remember I had to go pick her up from the airport, and my dad said, "Bring her straight over here. You know, this is Eric's new girlfriend." I'm like, are you being for real? Like, what are you talking about? Is it like an Eric super fan? He's like, no, like, you know, like Eric really likes this girl. I'm like, okay, you know, this is good. I go pick her up. She's like you said, very, very pretty young girl, big, huge boobs. And, you know,
What do you like?
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I think Eric really genuinely believed it. I mean, am I wrong, Jan? I don't know.
He did, till we went to, I think your dad somehow met, how it came about. I think your dad met her so-called manager, and then that's how he met Kendra. And then he introduced Kendra to Eric, and Eric liked her. And Eric believed it at first. When Eric didn't, then when Eric realized it was fake but ran with it on the show, was when we went out there and met, and I had to drive around for an hour to find alcohol for her to take pictures with Eric. She needed grape leaf vodka or some bullshit.
But the crazy part about my dad, I can tell you, is I think in his mind, he truly believed that if he could put them together, he could actually make that magic happen. Because I remember him telling her, like, you know, look, Eric is great. He's a funny guy. once you know when you do this, you're gonna Howard Stern is gonna love you. You're gonna be famous. All this stuff, and I think he really actually believed that the girl was gonna go for it.
Yeah.
I mean, call me, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just craziness.
Listen, your dad was a salesman at the end of the day. He could talk somebody into anything, he and
could-
part of the reason he could do that was because he really deep down inside believed it. So,
he couldn't talk
Yeah.
me into it. He couldn't talk me into stuff though.
no,
Yeah.
you were a
If you-
tough sell.
If you know what
How
I'm talking
about-
about, the whole passport
How
thing.
about the time you flipped out on my dad and you left him that voicemail? Remember with the oxygen tanks on the airplane? That
About
shit
the
was gold.
passport and all that. Yeah.
Yeah,
People ask
that
me
was so
always
funny.
if that was. People ask me always if that was real. Do you guys have that?
I'm definitely
pulled up?
curious about that. Yeah, how real
That
was
was
that?
real.
Also,
It was real. It was real.
That was
as hell.
real.
We had he wanted me to give our social security numbers to a website a couple of days before we left, just some website to get our passports. I'm not giving my shit to some website. And he was trying to push it.
And after you left him that voicemail, my dad calls me, or I'm over there, and he's like, "What should I do with this?" I'm like, "Man, you got to give that to Gary." I'm like, "You got to give that," because I said that's amazing right there.
Yeah.
I'm like, "That's like one of the." I'm like, "Please, for the love of God, please." He's like, "You think I should?" I'm like, "Yes, do it." And he did it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And what's funny is some Stern fans have an issue with me because I was trying to get us ready to go to Vancouver, and some Stern fans have an issue because I wouldn't get on the phone to give permission for them to play it. I would just scream, and they're like, "Oh, you're too good to get on the phone with Howard Stern." I'm like, "No, I was trying to do something. All they needed was my permission."
Yeah. Well, I mean, the saga was amazing. It had to do with flying to Canada, right, for an acting
Yeah.
gig.
Yeah.
And
And they
yeah.
didn't have enough time, so they had to have a guy. They flew a guy all the way to LA. He picked up a car, drove all the way up to Sacramento, picked us up, and drove us all the way to Canada.
Unfucking believable.
Johnny mentioned something earlier that I'd love to touch back on is pro wrestling. Eric was such a pro wrestling fan, and as an outsider, I've always kind of wondered how much that influenced his on air character.
That he pretty much turned himself into a heel like wrestling.
But also, how much did Eric understand about the Stern Show? Meaning, did he get the joke? Did we? Okay, so I guess there's kind of this is rooted in a real big question that we've always asked, which is, how did Howard get on Eric's radar? Because he didn't seem to be in the demographic of Howard, and he didn't seem to understand the comedy. And so go ahead.
He didn't know the Stern Show at all. But a year before that, I actually called into the Stern Show, so I knew the Stern Show a little bit, but he didn't know the Stern Show at all. But either Billy Bush or what was the other guy from Access Hollywood, Mario Lopez. One of them played the clip of Howard calling her fat and unattractive on Access Hollywood or Inside Edition or something, and that's how he seen it. And that's when he called Howard Stern the next morning.
So we have Mario Lopez or Billy Bush sent Eric into Karen mode, and Eric immediately got the phone number, stayed up till 3 a.m., and then called in to Howard. That's great.
That is hilarious. So to add on that, and I'm sorry to compound the question, but when he was calling, and people were making fun of him, and he kept calling. What was that thing? What was that spark that kept him calling if he hated it so much?
I think what really kept that spark, if you remember right, the first show that he called in, they figured out something was the matter with him. They gave him $1,000 from some promotion thing, and I think that's what sucked him in. All I'm doing is calling a show and talking shit, and I got $1,000. And I think that's what dragged him in, the money. Because he was on SSI and didn't get a whole lot of money. So
interesting.
But did he get the joke? Did he get the joke that his reaction was what people wanted or laughed at?
Not at first. But I think within a couple times of calling, he started getting it. Yeah. That's when because as you could tell, his angry, pissed off character took a little bit of time to build in.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, I will be quiet now. I will sit here and not take.
No, I mean, look, we're talking angry, right? Angry
Yeah.
Eric, like, and I gave you an example. Like, he got to a point where I didn't interview him for news anymore. He just said,
Well,
"Here's my thoughts on something, put it together."
well, you
So,
guys had a love-hate relationship because of that
right.
photo that was at the start.
You have that picture, the one of him laying on his side.
I have it, but you showed it in the opening too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joe back there. That picture, everything was fine. We did that comedy show. That was like a professional photographer, I think, took that photo.
Yeah.
And and he looked right at me and he said, "Just don't post it anywhere." And I made him my profile on MySpace, my profile photo, the minute I got back to New York. And man, I still have screenshots from those text messages from him calling me a bald pothead fuck. You know, he went off.
He never really knew how to master insults when he tried to link them together.
He should have learned something from you when you did that, when he took them pictures with Air Force Amy, because he told her not to post them either, and what did she do? She posted them.
Hey, we're both whores, and we're gonna do what whores do. You know what I mean? That's just how
I don't think I knew that. Air Force Amy posted those pics. That's funny.
Yep.
I mean,
That's
it's a big
hilarious.
star. She wants her Q rating to go up. Why you trashing me? Sad Eric the Midget wasn't around in 2024 with Cameo and Super Chats. He'd be a multi-millionaire with all that money.
Well,
He'd
the
know
other
what to
thing,
do. Yeah.
the other thing he would have made a bunch of money on too, I think, is Twitch.
Yeah, dude. Anything. TikTok, anything. That dude would be. I mean, look at Beetle. Look at the resurgence that Beetlejuice has on TikTok. I mean, Eric, are you kidding me? He'd be running.
Eric could have done a meme coin, okay? I guarantee you, the ack meme coin.
100%. Yes.
I don't
He'd be a millionaire overnight with it. I promise you. He'd do better than this Hakua girl. I promise you. Okay.
Yeah. we frequently talk on our show on Unboxing Eric about how if Eric was alive, he might actually be the center of the Dabbleverse as opposed to John. Or there might just be an area of the Dabbleverse that Eric rules, because we think he would have been a king in certain parts of, our little internet universe, where he would be, to some extent, in on the joke, would have fans, and people would just throw money at him. We really think that that's how kind of things would have planned out if he was still alive. And we talk about it frequently.
Absolutely. My favorite picture of Eric. Oh, there it is with the snake.
There it is. Yeah.
Thanks for doing this and remembering him. Johnny, how did your dad react at Jan yelling at him about getting their passports?
He loved it. I mean, when he heard it, he was dying laughing. I mean, no offense. He loved that Jan was so passionate about really trying to help Eric. I mean, I think it really did kind of make him go, wow, he really genuinely cares. And he was like, and he kept saying, wow, Jan's a real man. He's a real man. Like, this guy doesn't give a fuck. Like, this guy, if he was here right now, would probably punch me in the face. He's a real man. He thought it was great.
He caught your dad off guard that I said I didn't care who the fuck your grandpa was.
Well, listen, you impressed him. You impressed him.
Yeah, he loved it. He absolutely loved it. He's like, he's like, what should I do with this? I'm like, you got to send that in. He's like, you think? I said, yes, 1,000%.
I have that somewhere saved, but I was trying to find it earlier to play it for a friend, but I couldn't find it.
Jeremy, this should be a weekly show. Maybe get Diana DeGarmo or Kendra on. Air Force Amy, if she's still around. It's such a nice break. Yeah,
Air Force Amy, I think it's still at the ranch, is fucking at like 60, 70 years old.
God bless her. Hey, man, do what you love. You never work a day in your life, Jan. You know? It's such a nice break from Stuttering John, STDJ. Thank you, Jeremy. I appreciate it. Eric Nancram. Eric taught me to check out which states have werewolves when I travel to a new one. Smart.
Scram, Nancram.
Jan, Jan, did you ever meet Derek? I love that little guy.
Yep.
The 0.0 segment still gets me rolling.
One of the greatest moments ever.
How was his feelings on Artie? Because Artie went on that run where he would just soon as he would stop, it was so hard for him to put sentence together. And as soon as the sentence ended, he'd go, "Bye, shithead," I mean, was he
Yeah,
ever? Did he ever hate Artie? No, right?
A couple times he hated him for a couple things, but not completely. And just like he would hate Fred when Fred would push the buttons, but didn't really hate Fred.
I love when
have.
I love when he told Fred he was going to break his fingers. You remember that?
Yeah,
That was the greatest.
he was going to fly to New York and break his fingers.
That's the angriest I've ever heard, Eric.
That
Ever.
was so good.
That was
He got-
insane.
Screaming.
He would go off pretty bad on Robin sometimes too, calling her a cackling hoe and a cackling bitch.
Oh yeah, everybody got a turn with Eric. Everybody got a turn. Didn't matter your status, your credits. ETM was the reverse Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Everyone hated ETM when he's content and boring like his American Idol show and wanted him the enraged ETM who was gold. That is true. The only thing that saved those Idol shows were the technical difficulty. Otherwise,
That was
Oh.
all on purpose by Isha or whatever his name was, Isai or whatever his name was.
Ishai, yeah.
Yeah, and what
Right.
was the girl's name? I can't think. Gina.
Gina, yeah.
Gina.
Yeah.
Wait,
They were purposely.
The technical difficulties were all on purpose.
Yeah, they were purposely doing it to make the show funnier.
Right, but Eric didn't know they were doing it.
No,
on
Eric
purpose.
Didn't know it. No.
Right, right.
That,
They were.
I've
they-
not heard
yeah.
that. That is
That-
pretty
well,
funny.
I mean, at least the show's going somewhere now.
Yeah.
And then after them, there was that guy that did the show in Sacramento.
Uh-huh.
That we would go to his apartment, and he purposely got that big ass fucking ball mic that sat in front of Eric's face to make Eric look stupid too.
I remember that one. I remember that. The pictures that got taken of that were hilarious. Yeah, it was as big as his head.
Mark Abatista, thank you, Marky. Johnny, come upstairs for a drink. Merry Christmas and a happy Hanukkah to all of you and the chat. Careful wandering that parking lot, Johnny. The snowbirds will get you. FSJ. Oh, hi, Julie. Hi, Mark.
I love it. So I wonder if they're actually here. That's funny.
Johnny, can I ask you a real quick question? Just before I forget, is that there was always, from what we understood as fans, that Johnny would say that Eric would like hang out with him, and you touched on this a little bit about how he would hang out with Eric. But you were probably a younger guy. Were you in your early 20s at the time? And then you had these two younger half brothers. What was the dynamic like when he would bring Eric over to spend with the Fratto family? Which it sounded like it happened often. You might tell me it never happened, and I'd believe you. But if that did happen, what was that like, having to kind of share the moment with him, with your dad?
I loved every minute of it. I mean, it was, when he came over, it wasn't a lot, but, they did most of the stuff on the phone, but he was down there, enough, at least 10 times that I can remember, maybe more. And, when we're in the house, it was always nice. The kids were always nice. My dad's girl would cook for him and whatever. And then we'd go out on the street and it was great. I mean, we did that one time where my dad bought the Power Wheels truck. And Eric rode all around Beverly Hills on the Power Wheels truck, and at the end, he's going down into my dad's garage, and the garage door hits him. He's like, that was like, it was just shit like that would happen. It was just the funniest shit ever, I mean, it was amazing. I miss those times. I miss him. Yeah,
that one was one of the TMZ times too. TMZ came all the way to film him driving that.
He
stopped and talked to girls.
There was some sort of advertisement. I can't remember what the advertisement was on the side of it. It was all part of a promotion for something.
That was Rocco's Tattoo Balm, and that was owned by my buddy Johnny Costello that we were talking about a minute ago.
Got it. And Jan, were you with Eric at those times at Johnny's house?
Yes, every time. I took him,
every time
we drove down there.
What was that like for you? Did you feel like you were doing like a good deed? Did you feel like you were, helping out this situation?
It was fun for the most part, but every once in a while, Johnny on his ambient trips would leave us sitting down at Starbucks for like 5 hours. I'm coming down there, and we'd be sitting at Starbucks for like 5 hours.
Wow. And okay, so here's a really big question I've kind of been saving. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
One time he told us to go down to, what was that pizza parlor, Mulberry's or whatever that's called down
Mulberry,
there?
Yeah,
he told us to go down there and get pizza and tell him that he'd be down there to pay and So we went there and got pizza, and we're like, Johnny's coming down to pay. It was like 3 hours later he came.
That's I always wondered if that
you
was
do
a
realize that. Now you do realize my dad was on Ambien, and I'm not joking you, 24 hours a day. Literally 24 hours. The man popped it like it was he like I said, he was insane. He wasn't in his right mind. I mean, he would pop Vicodins and Ambiens like they were candy. You know, I mean, it's crazy. Yeah, I mean, all day, every day.
He would bring them down there to Starbucks and take them with a cup of coffee you'd get.
I always wondered how much of that was real.
Oh my God!
All of it. But Jan, I have a question. How grateful, sincerely, and appreciative was Eric of what you did for him?
He's very appreciative. Yeah, because he's the one that begged his parents to ask me to live with him because he wanted to have his own freedom and everything.
Right. Yeah. Right. He trusted you. He trusted.
Yeah. One thing that I think about Eric's whole story that I thought was so incredible and almost, not gonna lie, it made me a little teary-eyed, was that when you left Eric, he only lasted 2 days without you before he died.
I didn't actually leave the house yet. I was actually there when he passed at the hospital. I wasn't in the room. I went outside, but his dad was in the room. So I hadn't actually left yet. And what's even more fucked up, I don't know if he ever said it on the show, and I can't remember if I said it when he passed, but he told his parents when I decided to leave and go help my parents, and they wanted to bring in somebody that he only remembered from when he was a kid. He told him, "I'd rather just fucking die when Jan leaves." And then the day before I was getting ready to leave, he passed. I had to rush him to the hospital.
That is a crazy, crazy story. And I mean, it really made me sincerely sad. To this day, I'm even a little emotional about it.
Yeah. You're a little
his parents weren't supposed to come till the next morning. I had to call and say I rushed him to the hospital, and then his dad rushed down like a 4-hour drive.
I still have your voicemail on my phone breaking the news to me. I remember that. And ironically, I have another voicemail on my phone from Eric. We talk about Dabbleverse being toxic. Who can forget this magical moment when people were showing up to Eric's house to purchase a Sybian? That
was the most disturbing shit ever.
Yeah. There, listen.
Hey, Julie, these fuckers that have been harassing me on Twitter and on Facebook and email have gone way too fucking far. I just had some guy show up to my house, asking if he could purchase the Simeon. I'm pretty sure he meant Sybian that I have for sale. I don't have a fucking Sybian. I have no fucking need for one of those stupid ass things. He said he saw it on Craigslist and saw my address and asked if he could buy it. Yeah, he is here to pick it up. He already talked to me by email.
He's already tired from yelling.
These fuckers need to be fucking stopped. And they need to be put where they should be. Jail.
There was actually a little bit more to that, and it was the mom of the guy. He sent his mom to pick up the Sybian, and I answered the door, and I said, "Hello, can I help you?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm here to pick up the Sybian that my son talked to you about." And I'm like, "Say what?" And she's like, "I'm here to pick up." I'm like, "I hope you know that you're getting pranked and your son's getting pranked, and it's awful weird that you showed up for your son for what it is." And I asked her, "Do you know what it is?" And she's like, "Yeah, it's a pretty much a horse saddle with the riding dildo on it."
Why do you think I'm here? Why do you think I'm here?
Was she old? Was this an old lady?
She was in her 60s, yeah. And I'm like, "And you're trying to pick this up for your son?" So she called the son. And she's like, "This guy is telling me that you're getting
Oh, she's
pranked.
complaining. Can you believe this?
Yeah.
Now she's gonna give you a shitty Yelp review.
And
This was supposed to be my birthday present.
So then he's like, I talked to him, and he's like, I'm like, this is a prank. Somebody's pranking somebody that's part of a radio show. And he's like, oh, that's how I know about it, the Sibian, Howard Stern show. I'm like, I didn't say nothing. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I was like, well, it's a prank. Somebody pranked you. That's not from here. That's not
Right.
here. And then like the next night, somebody came for a freaking pinball machine. I forget what pinball machine it was, but came for a pinball machine and wouldn't leave the porch. I had to actually go get my pistol to get him to leave the porch.
Jesus Christ.
There's no fucking pinball machine.
Jan, be honest. Did you get laid at the Bunny Ranch, even though Eric forbid you to? Much love to Jan. Yeah, he answered this one.
We
Carmel.
talked
He
about
denied
this
it.
earlier. I wasn't
Yeah.
interested, and that was a bit that Johnny and Eric came up with to say that he banned me to make it more interesting.
Were you remember Jan when you threw away his gay porn? I'm sorry, I just had to throw that out there because that was just such a great little segment.
That was when we first moved into the house, and it was still an area. It was under construction, and they sent that. So I took them and threw them in a portable bathroom into the toilet where the contractors were used.
Smart. At least it's gonna get used, you know. Mexican Jew. Johnny, your dad was a hilarious OG, and Jan is a wonderful human being. I can't believe Johnny's little brothers are in their 20s.
That is crazy. That is
nuts,
it's fucking, it's nuts. One of them's in their 20s, the other one's 16.
Yeah,
it's nuts, man. Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh my God, Junior sounds like Don. That's a fact, Jack. Let's go, Joe Black. Dan Catalano, thank you for gifting a membership, sir.
A lot of people are saying how handsome Johnny Jr. is. That's really a hot topic in the chat.
Yeah, all right, we get it.
Come on, I love it. I'll take more of it. Come on, I wish I could see this. Yeah,
Big deal. Everybody, calm down.
You should see my wife.
Listen,
my wife is ridiculous. 10 out of 10. I'm like a little person compared to her. She towers over me. She's like 5'10".
She's
She wears
tall as
heels
hell.
every day. Oh, super tall.
She looks like 6 foot tall or more with her heels.
Yeah.
She's as attractive as Johnny is. You see his wife and you go, how'd he land her? So
I don't know. I'm a good talker apparently. I don't know.
Story for us all. Oh, DJ Electra. This is one of our co-hosts for Unboxing Eric.
The great DJ Electra. Thank you.
Yes.
I know she loves Eric as well. Thanks for popping in here, and thank you for the work you guys do on Unboxing Eric. Eric would run the Dabbleverse if he was here. Ack Ack is still my ringtone. Love him. Thanks for doing this. Thank you, Chachi.
100%.
If I remember right, there's a picture of Eric taking a picture with Johnny and his girlfriend, or now wife, and Eric looking at her tits.
Sounds about right.
Oh my God.
That's funny. Ack, thanks for the show, fellas. Thank you, Jer Bob.
Oh, Eric's parents somewhere have a picture of Johnny's girlfriend and her topless.
Hey,
Johnny sent it to her and he kept it.
Question for you, Jan. This is just a one for me. Is there anyone in Eric's family you think I could reach out to and possibly talk to about coming on and talking a little of Eric with us?
I don't think anyone would do it.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I had a run-in or two back in the day with a couple family members, and they weren't happy with Howard. They were very cordial on the phone, but they, I don't want to bother anybody, but I would love to hear their thoughts on things.
Go ahead.
They've a couple times they've told one of the guys that that's one of the moderators on the Eric group on Facebook. He talks to his parents, and they've told him a couple times stuff to say to the fans, but that's about it.
Yeah.
This was a big topic on our show, which was, we understood, we got it. You don't want a family member getting fucked with, and they didn't like it because they didn't understand it.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it was ball busting in a way to love and promote and help. Yeah. And yes, it was some ball busting, and I'm sure his parents didn't love it. But one thing that we did find a little, I don't know if you'd call it, iffy or whatever, but when the time came that Eric decided to go to the bunny ranch, his parents obviously didn't like it. But at the same time, we had a moment where we kind of thought, well, what else is he going to do? This is actually trying to make him happy to some extent. Maybe his parents should have been supportive of him. And I get that's ridiculous because we're talking about whores, but he didn't have an opportunity to have a normal sex life outside of that. And to some extent, we kind of thought, well, maybe his parents really need a little bit of talking to about the happiness that they're bringing Eric, that the show was bringing Eric. I'm sorry. And maybe they could have gotten supportive at some point. And I always kind of had my fingers crossed that maybe one day they'd come to their senses and just be like, our son doesn't have a normal life. He can't just go meet a lady and have a sex life. And this is something he obviously wants. Maybe celebrate in his happiness, maybe celebrate in the joy that he's getting out of this. And that was something I always kind of, resented a little bit about his parents.
Like they afterwards they knew he was going up there again. They didn't have a problem. The main problem they had, the reason why they got so upset, they were conservative, and they were on vacation and knew nothing about it. He didn't tell them, and they were that he was going, and he was on vacation, and his brother didn't know either, and a bunch of firefighters came up and started showing them pictures and all this stuff. So they weren't there they were worried about what how their friends would look at it and everything.
Right.
And they weren't there to put any fires out or trying to do anything. So that kind of what got them upset at first.
Fair enough. Okay.
Then afterwards, they didn't have a problem with it.
Hey,
I can't say that I analyzed that part of it. You know what? Fair. That's fair.
It's one thing you don't expect. You don't expect firefighters to be modest, and those pictures came out. That was some hot news, man. They had to get involved
because we even did he did a JFSC broadcast live from there when it was what the hell was that camera site we used?
I can't think of it. Stick cam, yeah.
Stick cam, yeah. There you go.
Stick cam, yeah.
Please include Hack Ride on the next episode. This rules. Sure, absolutely. Hack Ride's a pal, man. Shuli, you are a genius. This is a dream come true. I am far from a genius. I'm glad these guys were available and felt like going down memory lane with us. And we'll do it again.
Hey, Johnny Jr., as a 20-ish young guy, when your dad was getting involved with the ladies of the night for Eric, did you ever kind of ask for a little nudge that direction? No. You were a young guy.
I got to tell you, the thought of going to the bunny ranch kind of made me sick. No offense to anybody that likes it, but it's fair not my bag. You know what I mean?
That's how I felt too. But
no, and that's totally reasonable, and I get it. I guess the age factor of being just young 20s, I know the thought must have crossed your mind.
Well, if you think the chat's buzzing about him now, wait till you see a Frado Jr. in his 20s. That guy was not having a problem. Trust me.
There you go. Yeah,
I had long hair. I was. I had a good time. I definitely had a good time.
Yeah, I imagine he made more than the girls at the bunny ranch banging.
Driving
around paying him.
Mercedes.
Eric the actor was a gem. I love the unboxing series. Jan, did Eric ever let you get with a girl at the ranch? No, he's
there you go.
You might as well just start saying yes so they stop asking. This is amazing. Jan, bless you for all the support you gave ETM. Johnny Frado Jr., RIP to your pops. So fun to listen to. The two of them gave us so many smiles. Agreed.
Hard to believe I did 20 years of caregiving, including my parents.
Yeah. Hey, man. Some people are just,
Dude, you're a saint.
It's I think of what you do, and I think of it the same way as like when I'm watching Saving Private Ryan and those doors are about to drop down, and I'm like, I don't know how these fucking guys do it. I don't. God bless you. Jan, you are a saint. Yanni Jr. I'm just going to say everything with a soft. Yanni Jr. is a legend. I need a show with KC and Yay to tell stories. Eric is John. Eric is John. Sorry, equal opportunity hate for both. Man,
Oh, okay. Man, yeah, that was weird. I get it.
Is KC still doing shit?
absolutely. KC's still doing shit. Yeah, he's got a YouTube channel. I could get you guys in touch. I have this. Speaking of angry voicemails,
Let me make some.
what?
I was gonna say, did you pull up the one of me yelling at Johnny?
No, that I don't have here. If you want to, Luigi, send me the link to that. But I got this one here. This is Eric calling me up, really pissed off. Check this out.
Let me make something absolutely 100% crystal clear with all you listeners. I am a fucking taxpayer, just like everyone else. I have got checks from In Plain Sight, Fringe, and American Dream. Every last one of those checks has tax money coming out of them, just like all your paychecks. I am not a check or a tax cheat like you fuckers think I am. I'm not doing anything that I should not be doing as far as taxes go. I fucking pay my taxes when I get checks in the mail from In Plain Sight, Fringe, and American Dream. State and local tax is federal taxes, whatever the fuck taxes come out of my check, just like every last fucking one of you employed fuckheads. So get the fuck off my ass about being a tax cheat, because I fucking am not. And another thing, I am not messing with SSI either. I am not being a cheat on my SSI. So stop with that fucking bullshit. I am not doing anything illegal as far as taxes go, or my fucking SSI. Get the fuck off my ass about it. Now.
Yeah, that
All
came
you're
from
doing is
either.
you
I can't remember.
are saying false bullshit, trying to
Over.
get me convicted for nothing.
Big closer.
Go fuck yourself and go to hell.
That came from
Got it?
either.
Wait, he wasn't done. He yelled out, got it? Now he's done. Yes, Jan. What were you going to say?
That came from either. I can't remember if it was, either somebody calling you and then with a fake news thing, or if it was from like Mutt's website. But there was two different people accusing him of not reporting his earnings from jobs to SSI.
Yep.
And somebody saying they worked from the IRS and he didn't pay his taxes.
Never ends for this kid. Junior, how far would your dad have gone for ETM?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know the answer to that, but probably pretty fucking far, because like I said, I'd never seen the man cry before. When somebody passed away, and he, a lot of his friends died, he never cried. With Eric, he cried. So I imagine he would have probably, aside from making him wait for, him to come down to pay for their pizza for 3 hours, once he was good, he was good. I think he probably would have gone pretty far for him. I don't think he would have killed Jerry for him. I don't think he would have done that. No.
He's got, even your father had to draw a line somewhere.
Yeah.
How real was that? How real was the Jerry hit?
That the hit wasn't real. Him and Johnny came up with that. Johnny thought it would be funny for him to come up, not just stay straight out, take him out or something, but say something funny to what people knew what he meant.
Insinuate, yeah.
But we figured out afterwards, that guy, we went to school with him, and his dad was a Stern fan, and he was trying to make his dad happy and called into the show and did that.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, wow. That is very interesting. Huh.
It was like a Make-A-Wish. It was like a weird Make-A-Wish. ETM drove me crazy, but still loved them. Great show. I think that was the consensus for everybody, even Jan at times, right? Like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, you loved
yeah.
them, but holy shit.
Like I try to, for the most part, like I try to keep myself separate from the show. I was his caregiver. I wasn't trying to be part of the show, and I didn't try to be on the show a bunch. But people thought I was trying to make something off the show. I'm like, no, I'm just.
It's just the opposite. I can tell you, Howard and Gary love that about you. There were so many whack packers that their assistants or helpers or whatever you want to call them, it was about them getting in that studio, about them getting to talk to Howard, always coming up with scams and ideas and stuff.
Like,
and
even the time I called into the Howard Stern show, I didn't call in as myself. I just called in to be funny, to fight with Mike, whatever his name was, Mike Warnke, or not Mike Warnke, whatever his name was, the
Mike Morse,
National Geographic guy.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say nobody knows Mike Morse.
I just realized I'm sorry. I just realized how funny it is that imagine the storyline of saying, "Oh, this will make my dad happy. I'm going to call into the show and goof on Eric," and then you become a part of history.
Yeah,
it's now spreading your life.
Yeah.
That's a pretty funny storyline.
Who was
Nordic
the news
Borg.
guy who was the news guy that Eric hated? Steve something.
Steve
Langford.
Langford.
He had the website made, Fire Steve Langford.
.com or whatever. Yeah.
Eric made that, or had it made?
Yeah, Eric.
He
had a friend make it.
Yeah, I want to do a Howard 100 News thing with some of the guys from the news team, maybe even Lisa G talking to Eric in one of these episodes. But Langford, I definitely want to get on and talk Eric with him. Langford loved covering Eric, loved getting him pissed off.
Which one was it, Langford or was it John that or who was the one that showed up in Vancouver and it pissed off Eric because Eric told him don't have anybody come? Which guy was that? I
want to say it was Langford, but
I think that was Langford.
Yeah. I mean, Langford was insane in that job. It was. I imagine the way Howard saw the Howard 100 News in his mind, Langford was that guy. He was everything Howard wanted out of the Howard 100 News.
Yeah.
Took it way too seriously, but was great at his job. Yeah, it was Langford who went to Vancouver.
It was, okay.
Nordic, I'm laughing with tears. Missed the little guy. Skull. Love you, Nordic. Thank you, pal. Hey, Artie, I hear Ben & Jerry's is coming out with a new flavor called Junkie. What are the great battles between those two?
Eric was never confident in his punchlines, and so he would say it and then repeat it.
Yeah.
If you ever listen, it was like, cause it's an ice cream. Like you would say it after the punchline.
I just remembered something. There was a great scam that Eric did where he was selling and signing 8x10s, but it was a picture of him and Artie backstage at the San Francisco show.
And Artie got mad because he was selling it. Yeah.
Oh, he pretended to be mad.
Where's Adam? What do y'all think about Stut Joe and why? So Adam could not get out of a prior commitment tonight, but he will be with us for the next one. And do you guys have any thoughts on Stuttering John?
He's got TDS. A bad case of it.
Bad case of what? TDS?
TDS. Yeah.
What is
on
TDS?
Facebook every day. Trump derangement syndrome. He's going nuts every day on Facebook every 2 seconds.
I was gonna say he's a little too liberal for me.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I like it. Well, John, listen, if John ever wants to debate politics, Johnny Jr. is available, happens to be involved in politics, right? Didn't you just run for
I ran for U.S. Congress in District 26 here in Florida, and I'm running again in 2026 for the same seat against a super rhino, this guy named Mario Diaz-Balart. Votes with the Democrats like 68% of the time, and weirdly, his uncle is Fidel Castro. So how are you going to be a congressman for 22 years? Your uncle's Fidel Castro. I mean, it's kind of nuts.
That's pretty awesome. That's
Yeah.
fucking, to find that out. That's great.
Yeah.
He's only around the next state over from you.
And what is this? Inflatable arm flailing toe man. All right, Queefer Sutherland. Thank you. I appreciate it. You could hear the sadness in Eric's voice when he called the Stern Show to mention that Jan would be leaving to live with his parents.
Yeah, that's I 100% back that up. It was a really weird moment. It was one of the few moments that I'm not stupid enough to believe that everything was real. It was a moment where he showed genuine, sincere emotion that was relatable to the audience, where he said, to the effect of, he was sad to see you go, that you had become a part of him. Yeah. And everything that we knew about Eric was angry or bitter and ungrateful, blah, blah, blah. And then he just was like, he didn't want to play that part that day, and was like, my friend is leaving.
It came to his realization that he didn't know how much he would. That's one of the things he talked about too. He didn't know how much he was going to be able to do once I left.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because he didn't know if his parents would take him places, take him to comedy shows or anything like that.
Well, that's the thing, man. It's about the most fun he had in his short life.
Yeah,
Jan was with him there for all of it. So, you know, at least you got that, man. You know,
yeah,
that's a great memories to have. Was there, Johnny, every weekend, steak and bourbon. Mark's a good dude, man. Mark's our Florida guy out there. He's a good man.
Awesome.
Oh, my man, the Blue Meanie is here. Brian, what's up? Love
Brian.
you. Happy holidays. You know what to do. Meanie's been a fan for so many years. Love to Tracy. Hope all's well.
There's a.
You know what to do.
Yeah, there was a lot of people that were celebrities that cried when Eric passed away. What's that guy? Andy Cohen. He cried on his show when Eric passed.
Yeah, but I think he cried when one of the housewives got locked up too. So you can't really go with that.
I don't remember Jimmy Kimmel's reaction, but I knew it was very impactful to Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah, no, he was busy crying over a lion getting shot. He didn't cry over Eric dying.
And then it gets all mucked up in the head. Who knows which one was attached to Eric?
Did he cry when Trump won? I think that
probably.
I think he really did. I think he did on air. Yeah.
Eric's parents started realizing how much of a celebrity Eric was when like WWE and TNA wrestling and other stuff announced his death.
Yeah, that's crazy. That that recognition that he got, that was a real eye opener for them, huh?
Yeah.
Eric and John are the same guy. They both lied constantly. They hated everyone who just had a negative comment. They both splooged on their clothes. Well, I mean, it's one way to look at it. I don't agree with all those comparisons. Fun show and great panel. Howard would always crack up when Eric the Midget would repeat the insults people left on his machine. Hysterical. Yeah, you gotta. Here, you want to talk about? Here, check this out.
Some people have tweeted to me saying, those people are just messing with you. They know who the real one is. They're just trying to get you to pissed off.
Eric the actor is learning a valuable lesson, and that lesson is, when you're on top, everyone wants a piece. And it's no different when it comes to the world of Twitter. You see, Eric is very upset with the fake Eric the actors on Twitter and wants fans to know there's only one Eric, and here's how you can find him on Twitter. Make sure you get your decoder rings out, everyone.
I did tweet and just a few minutes ago under the username of Eric with a capital E and the little RIC, capital T, little H, little E, capital A, little CTOR 11. That is the one and only real legitimate Twitter account for me. The other one that looks similar to that is just some an idiot. So I tweeted to please ignore that fake account and to ignore all other accounts and to please report them.
Well, it turns out that Eric's efforts kind of backfired. For some reason, when Eric tweeted out the fake account for his followers to report, he somehow tweeted his own page. So basically, Eric asked all of his followers to report him for being a fake.
I don't know how I did it because I typed it exactly the way the identical fake has his Twitter account written, but somehow it tweeted it where if you click on the link, it goes to my profile instead of his. I don't know how the hell that happened.
I don't know either, buddy, but it's funny. Shuli Agar, Howard 100 News.
Hey guys, I just wanted to correct something.
Oh,
Scrolling across the bottom, it's supposed to be a 7 instead of a /. It's JONJ72401.
Okay. All right. Well, hopefully we didn't make somebody else rich from that. I am new to the Eric the Actor. This has been great. Well, thank you, Tony. I'm glad you're enjoying it. You know, you never know how far back you got to go and how much you have to explain. So I'm glad you guys are kind of getting in and getting involved. He had a strange, halting way of speaking. Yes, he did. One of a kind delivery. That's for sure.
Don't talk like that.
Hey, Froggy, you can take the scroll thing down until we fix it. Thank you, buddy. We need some classic emergency episodes from all Dabble shows ASAP. The Duke plus Kate equals mate. All right, we'll get to it, buddy. We got other things to work on right now. This is beautiful. That's all I got. Well, thank you, Chachi. We appreciate that. Oh, my God. They actually found Jerry. My mind is blown. Of course.
Jerry.
Love when Langford reported the 0.0 tickets sold. Yes, that was amazing. He got so fucking mad at that.
Didn't Johnny buy the tickets? There was like
yeah.
I think there was,
Really?
Yeah, tell Johnny.
Okay.
Johnny, tell that story if you can.
There was like one person actually bought tickets, and the rest Johnny Senior bought.
My dad bought them all up so that nobody would show up and they could report on that. It was fucking hilarious.
This is what a revolutionary guy your dad was. Now all these rappers are doing that to each other, trying to make each other look bad. Meanwhile, your dad was the first to do it to Eric. That's great.
So funny.
I would always fall asleep to Eric clips on YouTube and wake up with an attitude. R.I.P. Derek from Texas. And Johnny, you know what to do. Thank you, James.
Yeah, he's actually touching on something that I don't know if you guys know, maybe you already do, is that one of the things that kind of inspired us to start our show was that we learned that people had put on YouTube collections, like several hour-long collections, and that among people on social media, we're all talking about how they would play these collections of Eric audio to go to sleep.
Yep.
And I didn't even know that anyone else was doing it because I had been doing it also. And when I heard that other people were doing it, it was just, it was interesting. Right. It was kind of eye-opening to see that there was a community of people who were all doing this. And it was just such a part of our lives. Yeah.
I have people on Facebook and Reddit tell me always that they do that they fall asleep to them, or they got Eric listening to Eric's calls, get them through hard times.
Yeah.
Bone loads. Well, Jan, why did Eric hate the lake house so much?
Lake house was extremely boring for him when he was so he liked to go out and do stuff. He would go to movies constantly, go to the mall, go to games. So if he wanted to go to a movie, it was an hour away, and the theater only had 2 screens, sound like shit, and it was like a 100-inch screen, so it wasn't like a real theater. If he wanted to,
high standards.
Yeah, listen, it's a road game. It's a road game. Every playoff team hates going on the road. You want to play at home. That's all.
If he wanted to go to an A's game or a Giants game, it was 4 or 5 hour drive.
Yeah.
So it was boring up there, nothing really to do. If he wanted to get the latest video game, he had to go a couple hours into Reno to get the latest video game.
Oh, so it was like a death sentence over there.
Yeah, for him, pretty much. But boredom, yeah.
And Looney Tunes here with the last one of the night, crying from laughing, laughing from legit crying. This show is a Sesame miracle. Well, I'm glad you like it, brother. I'm glad you
Very
guys
Sesame.
enjoyed it. Let me promote some stuff here. Johnny, what can I plug for you, sir? And would love to have you back and do some more stuff with you if we can.
I mean, look, I've got a lot of stuff coming. One really big thing that I don't want to I don't want to talk about it just yet, but maybe next time I'm on. But the one big thing is I'm announcing my second run for Congress in February, so
Let's
that'll be
fucking
good.
go. Let's
Yeah,
go.
man. And I've got
TSN
all the
back
good
to you,
people with
dude.
me. I've been spending some time with RFK. I've been, I got Roger Stone with me, George Papadopoulos, one of my best friends. All the good Trump people, man. Yeah,
Let's
Alfie
go.
Oaks that owns this place, great. Yeah.
Let's go. As sure as my name is Mike Morse, we are behind you 100%. Let's go, Johnny. I've been down with Johnny from day one. I will continue to be. And you're the best, man. Can people follow you on social media, Johnny? Where can people?
Yeah, it's just on Twitter. It's or on X. It's at Johnny Fratto FL, and on Instagram it's the same at Johnny Fratto FL, and on Facebook it's just Johnny R Fratto.
Awesome. And Jan, you want to give out your PayPal again?
Yeah, I was going to say one thing. I've always wondered how Eric would have been if when Trump ran, because he was always Democrat, but I wonder, he was a big Trump fan, so I wonder how that would have went. So, I'm on Facebook just under my name. I'm also on the Eric the Actor group on Facebook, Eric the Actor fan group. My PayPal is JONJ, like my first name and last initial, 72401, and my Venmo is GlockFan870, and then I also have Cash App, and that is $buy for now 2014.
All right.
I'm pretty sure everybody will understand that.
Listen, if you can, I know it's the holiday season, but if you can, man, help Jan out. He's been taking care of people pretty much his whole life, and so wouldn't hurt for us to take care of him for a little bit. He's in a pinch, and I appreciate you doing this. I appreciate you coming here. I'm sorry about your folks.
Thank you.
I know you did your best for them, for Eric. Everybody knows it, and let's do this again sometime, man. I would love to have you back on as well.
Yeah, I haven't did a podcast in I think in March I did a podcast for when it was Eric's birthday
let's make this like a regular thing, and you come back and
I think it was your show I did last.
Yeah. Well, listen, I love you, brother. We go way back, and keep in touch with me and let me know what I can do. And
I just thought about another picture that pissed off Eric.
What?
The drive from either to San Diego or the one, or it was back to LA, one of the two, when you were laying on him.
Yep, when I passed out on his shoulder, and they got the picture of me and him passed out.
He didn't like that one. He's smiling in that picture.
No, he was mad about it when he wasn't mad the picture got took, but he was mad that it got shared.
Yeah, because we were cuddling.
Yeah, there was a film crew next to him sticking out the window.
Yeah, that's right. Howard TV was all over that shit. Hey, you guys are the best, man. Thank you so much for your time tonight, Johnny Jr. and Jan. Appreciate you guys.
It was really an honor to meet you guys.
Thank you.
Yes.
It's been amazing, honestly.
And we'll do it again soon, all right?
All right.
Fantastic.
Sounds good.
All right, gentlemen. Have a good one.
Have a good night.
Oh, yep. Thank you, boys. Luigi, great job on your part.
Thank you, sir.
Fantastic.
I appreciate it. This was fun. I can always talk about Eric any given moment of the day.
There was one other clip I wanted to play of his hold on. Jan, are you still here? Jan's still here.
Yeah,
Jan,
I'm still here.
I forgot to play this. I want to play this before we get out of here. So Eric loved the ladies. Were you ever privy to any of his sexy talk with the ladies?
Yes. And sending his dick pics and all that. Yep.
Yeah. So were
you
you
didn't have to take them for him, did you?
No, I didn't take him for him. The one night I had to bring him the ruler.
And remind everybody what, please, Luigi. This is a serious conversation. Remind everybody why he needed the ruler. What the picture involved and who was it for?
Howard didn't believe him about his penis size, and he wanted to prove it, so he asked for a ruler to measure and took a dick pic.
There you go.
And then then another time he took a dick pic for a girl, and she posted it online somewhere.
Not cool. Not cool. You don't have any dick pics of Eric, right?
No.
I have one.
I don't have any. Send it to me. I've never seen it.
I'll send it to you. Hackwright actually made an AI animation out of it.
Next time we do one, you'll have to pull up the call that we left, since we were talking about it a lot. The call that I did to Johnny, the message.
We will. Did you ever hear the news story I did about the chat that was leaked, the sex chat that was leaked between him and who was it? It was some chick on Facebook. I don't remember her name, but I remember she had monstrous tits that would have killed him. And Eric didn't want to do the news story with me because I wanted to interview him about it. So the person sent me the transcript of the whole conversation.
I remember that part, but I don't know the news story now.
Yeah, here, I'll play for it. It's me, and I hired this actress, High Pitch Mike. He played the woman. Here, check it out.
Hey, you are cute.
Oh, my thanks, Eric.
You're welcome.
Hold on.
Smiley face.
Hold on. I just smiley face. I just want to state for the record, this is all word for word their conversation. No editing whatsoever. Okay.
This wasn't Brandy Tallure, was it?
I don't think it was Brandy.
No, it wasn't Brandy. I forgot who it was though. It was a Stern fan that I can't think of her name though, but I know who it is.
Listen to the call. Maybe it'll jog your memory.
Hey, you are cute.
Oh, my thanks, Eric.
Oh. You're welcome.
Smiley face.
You've got nice breasts.
Thanks.
Can I ask how big?
40 double D, natural.
Really nice. I love big breasts. Would you ever show them off?
Not sure.
If we did a private chat?
Oh, I don't know. I get a bit shy sometimes.
You shouldn't. I bet you look great topless.
Oh, well, you cutie. You flatter me.
I'm enjoying the cleavage. Are you wearing a bra?
Yes.
Would you ever just show me your breasts?
I might.
I'd love to see them.
Maybe tomorrow night. I have to be heading to bed soon.
Okay, I'll look forward to it. Good night.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Oh, just my luck. You're married.
No, I'm widowed, hon.
Oh, okay. I saw the comment in the room.
Past tense.
Oh, okay. Would you ever have sex with a virgin?
Never thought of that before.
I'm a virgin.
I know. How come you wouldn't let the girls Howard wanted to hook you up?
I know.
I have a hard-on right now. Your 40 double Ds are making me hard.
They are?
Yeah. Do you like breast sex?
No, I don't like it. Do you like it?
I would like it with your 40 double Ds.
No, I was talking about the main chat. I always try to convince the curious to swing. What else do you like to do, or would you like to do?
Oh, okay. Regular sex with you as many times as you wanted. I want to have my first time.
First time should be something special, you know?
Yeah, but who knows when that will be.
Be patient, sweetie. They always say when you're not looking, it'll happen.
You're a cute, big-breasted babe. I know that I'd enjoy having sex with you. I'd love to play with your breasts, nipples, and areolas. I'm really hard. If I was there, would you get me off?
I don't know.
What would you get me off with?
I'll let you know tomorrow. Let's continue this later.
Okay. Good night. I'll be thinking about you. Please let me lick you sometime. Good night, Busty.
Busty. That ring a bell? Busty?
No, but I think I know who it was that he was talking to, but I can't remember names.
Oh my
There was
god.
I don't know if that I don't know I don't know did it ever come out to on the show about the lady and her niece that he talked to?
Huh?
I don't think so.
That
There
doesn't
was
sound familiar.
there was a big tit niece and a big tit aunt,
Go ahead.
and they lived together. And he
Sure.
found them somewhere, and he talked to him, but he
Uh-huh.
was sending constantly money to him to get cameras,
Right.
and for some reason they had to buy something else and never bought cameras, and he sent them like $1,000 more, and then
Jeez.
figured out they were fake.
Yeah, they had to buy crack and forgot to buy cameras.
Wait. What part was fake? The like that they existed or the tits?
As far as we know, fake altogether.
Yeah, the whole thing. It's like they just
Because he
found some
never-
pictures on the internet of two
Yeah,
big
all he
titted
ever seen was
broads.
pictures. He never really video chatted with them or anything.
Right.
So it's
He
probably
got
some
catfished. Oh
It's
my
probably some
no.
catfish, some Indian guy or something.
I
Well,
never heard that. Oh my god. That's
listen,
great.
the fact that we're still learning means that it's working. That's what this show is all about.
I think that was MySpace days.
Yeah. Listen, Jan, pleasure catching up with you, my friend. Thank you for all you've done. And
You got my number. Keep in touch.
Absolutely. You do the same. Love you, brother. Talk
All
to you
right.
Great
soon.
to meet you, Jan. Really an
Happy
honor.
holidays, everybody.
You too,
Happy
Jan.
holidays.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Jan
Hey, Shuli?
Johnson. Is the Johnson's like, is it Jan Janssen or Jan Johnson?
Jan Johnson.
Okay. Jan Johnson.
Hey, Shuli.
Now I'm sideways. All right. I had to do that. Go ahead. Yes, Luigi.
Do you like breast sex?
Good night. Let me lick you. Sweet dreams.
Good night, Busty.
Oh my god. I mean, so much. Hey, that was fun. We'll definitely do it again, man. And yeah, I know somebody said Gonzo and Adam and some other people. I want to continue doing this because I think there's a lot of people out there that enjoy it. Hopefully you guys did tonight. If you got any suggestions, let us know. The Uncle Rico Show pod at gmail.com. And can't thank you guys enough for being here tonight. Luigi, great job, man. Go check out Luigi Hack Ride over at Hack Ride Studios.
Hack Ride Studios channel, Sunday nights, Unboxing Eric, 10 p.m. Eastern. And also, I have my show on my channel. It is at Papa_Electrico, also on Twitter, called Skeptical Robot, Skeptical Fruit. I do a Debunking the Paranormal show in which we really just try to show all the bullshit that people buy and try to live with, or try to convince other people with guilty consciences that they're just all con men. It's really all it is. They're just all con men. That's what we love to do.
And I have a statistician in the back here that just wanted to text me a fun little fact to end this. One of the chicks Eric followed on Twitter called herself Puffy Nips. So, in case anybody's wondering, that account's still active.
How crazy is that, sir? He got catfished and somehow kept it under the radar. That never came out. I've never heard that story.
Dude, if you don't think he's been, you know how many times Jeff's been catfished? You know, there were office filled with dudes in Chicago DMing him and getting him to show his dick. And like, it's not the biggest accomplishment to successfully catfish a whackpacker. You know what I mean?
I guess so, but everything about Eric, I mean, he had so many, as John calls them, moles. He had so many people just waiting to tell, you're never going to believe what happened to Eric today stories. How that one got kept under the, under the radar is I guess what I'm more impressed by.
When, how do they catch sharks? They know what brings them. You know what I mean? It's, boobies were chum for this guy. He could play video games with those hands. Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Oh yeah, that's a really good point. That's
You're probably so much better than me at Call of Duty. Hey, Shuli, will this be a regular show? I mean, semi-regular. Yeah, I think having a kind of a rotation of guests, like a round table of guests, will be good for this. And then having some clips to play too. So yeah, we'll do it when we can.
I
Absolutely.
remember Jeff said he was a gamer, and I remember thinking, how?
Jeff
But
did. Jeff had an
whatever.
Xbox, and he did play. Yeah, absolutely.
That seems a little weird.
Just got dude. The guy could roll a joint better than me with one arm. It's crazy.
He's playing with his
You
foot.
figure it out. You figure it out. Just got back from a Christmas party, and now I'm wasted. Sad. I have to miss this. Merry Christmas to TSN family. R.I.P. Eric the Midget Skull. Hey man, kick back, relax, hit rewind, and enjoy this from the beginning. I thought we were just going to do an hour, so it's been 2 hours now. So thank you guys. Skeptical reminds me of Awesomeo from South Park.
That was the point. You get it.
Yeah.
Watch the show. Bring your friends.
All right, everybody. Luigi, thank you.
My
check
pleasure,
out
man. My
unboxing.
absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, check out Unboxing Eric. Froggy, thank you. And thank you to all of you guys. Very much appreciate it. Have a great night. We'll see you maybe tomorrow. Most likely Sunday. Bye, everybody.